Hey, I said namaskaram. Well, why this youth and truth and how it came about? In the last 36 years that I've been active with people, this is one question that keeps coming to me constantly. It's a constant refrain from people. Many thousands of people telling me this, Sadhguru, when I was 20, where were you? Now you come when I'm 60. If you had come when I was 20, I would have done this, I would have done that. So I thought we will step out and meet all those people who are below 25 years of age, and that's why the youth and truth so that you don't come back to me after a few years and again accuse me of the same thing, where were you? Life, when we say life, different people think of it in different ways. But essentially, a certain amount of time and a certain amount of energy is what makes our life. Time is going away for all of us at the same pace. If you sit, it rolls, if you stand, it rolls, if you're doing something, it rolls, if you're sleeping, it rolls. No matter what you do or you do not do, time is rolling away for all of us at the same pace. Or in other words, time is getting over. Hello? It's getting over, isn't it? Since you came and sat here, you're 30-40 minutes closer to your grave than what you were before you came into this hall. That's how it is. One may not look at it that way because most people think they're immortal. Yes They go about their life like they're immortal, but actually time is getting over. In southern India, for example, in Tamil, the word for death is kalamaittanga. That means his time got over. Actually, that's all that happened, isn't it? Hello? Yes. His time got over, that's all. So time is rolling away, but life is also a certain amount of energy. How we manage this energy determines who we are in this world. How much energy do you have, how well organized and managed is it, will determine what you will do and what you will not do. The scale and scope of your life is determined by this. When you're in this segment of life, which we refer to as youth, your energies are at their peak. It's a most exuberant level of energy in this segment of life that we refer to as youth. Most youth do not understand this. They think it is going to be like this for always. It is not going to be like this for always. You must just pay attention to the older people. You will see energies are not at the same level of exuberance. I'm an exception, okay? So, at this time, when our energies are at their best, if we bring little more clarity and balance into our life, the way we utilize and organize this energy will become completely different. The problem with the youth is they are exuberant energy but not enough clarity and balance. Where there is no clarity and balance, even if you have the most powerful thing in your hands, if you do not have the necessary clarity and balance, it could just work against you rather than for you. So, this is the purpose of Youth and Truth. Now this campaign for a month, but we will not stop with this. In the next 2 or 3 months, we will roll out what is called as Tools for Transformation. This will be available on the app and in various other platforms. We want the youth of this country to make use of this because this is the only wealth we have right now. Wealth means, right now we have a huge youthful population, over 50%, no other nation has this, but youth is a tremendous wealth only if they are inspired, skilled, focused and balanced. If they are imbalanced, uninspired, unfocused, unskilled, they are a recipe for disaster. You understand? So, are we going to make this youthful energy in this country into a miraculous process, which we can, or are we going to make it into a disaster, is in our hands. It's for us to make this happen, we as a generation of people. Never before another generation has known these kind of comforts, conveniences and possibilities. And our ability to communicate today, we can sit here and talk to the entire world. So this is our time on the planet. This is our time on the planet. We are not going to be here forever, but this is our time on the planet. We have all the ingredients that if we bring clarity and balance into our lives, we can become the greatest generation ever. We have the tools in our hand, but will we use the tools to create this, or will we use all these technologies and tools to destroy ourselves? Depends on what kind of human beings we produce, particularly youth, because they are going to be here longer than me and many others here. Because you're going to occupy this planet longer than me, so we wanted to see that you, if possible, we bring some clarity and balance into your life so that this youthful exuberance becomes a great gift for this nation and the world.
Thank you, Sadhguru, for that youth and truth introduction. But before starting the questions, I would like to thank you all for giving this a tremendous response to the Youth and Truth event in BHU. And I would like to thank you all, as well as thanks to all those people, sir. Outside also, more than 500 people are sitting, watching this live telecast. So thanks to them also. They were not able to get the seat inside. So thanks to all of them. So getting on to the first question, sir. Sadhguru, when I try to see myself as a youth and when I try to see myself as a bachelor in university, then one feeling that hurts me the most is the unemployment one. And whatever the thing is, in the final year, I'm not seeing about how many marks I should get in the semester, but should I get the job? That is the most important thing. And then somehow I saw you. I saw your job also very interesting. And
You can apply.
So the question is, sir, you just play with anacondas. You go to
No, anaconda.
F1 cars. You drive helicopters. You drive F1 cars.
That was just a king cobra. That was not an anaconda.
You drive everything. So it gives me a very much interesting. I am also afraid of that king cobra, sir, but I won't do it.
Hey, you're saying you're from the town of Shiva, he wore a snake always around his neck, and what?
Okay, but that is a good point, ultimately. So, then I will check it out. So, for me, how I should become like you, cool dude like that?
You can apply for the job. We will process the application, of course. See, we must understand this, in this country. In 1990, only 7% of India was employed. 93% was self-employed. All kinds of small businesses and things, because there was really no organized employment. Now I do not know the exact number, maybe it's gone to 15%, or 20% maybe. So still over 80% of the people are self-employed. We're talking this employment business, already I'm in a lot of trouble on the social media because of… I spoke about employment in the IIM Bangalore, and these are all, business masters people, they're doing MBAs. And they're asking about employment. I said in a developing country, you shouldn't be looking for employment. A developing country means there are still a lot of things to be done in this country. When there are so many things to be done, instead of looking around and seeing as youth, what can I do and how can I make something out of that, you're sitting and waiting for somebody to come and give you an employment. Well, this language of what is the employment rate in the country comes from United States, because almost everybody is employed except a small segment of entrepreneurs. So that's a different nation, this is a different nation. Here, there is no organized employment of that scale. You cannot employ 1.3 billion people in a factory or an office or wherever else. They have to find their way. And they are finding their way, the rural population is not employed. It's only the urban youth, the moment they get educated, somehow they get crippled. Those who are not educated are finding a way to live, isn't it? Hello? Those who never went to the college, university, they're all finding a way to make a living. But the moment you get educated, should you be more capable or less capable? You should be more capable. So you should give the employment to them and you should become the employer. Yes? Tell me, if you look around in Kashi, aren't there 1,000 things that you can see on the street that you can take up and do and make a business out of it? Can you or can you not? There are. So, I'm not saying there should be no employment generation. Yes, that needs to happen on one level. But don't ever believe 1.3 billion people can be employed in a factory or office or some organized sector, it's just not possible. We don't have that level of organized employment generation and it's just not possible at all. It is just that we have to see in a developing country how we can develop this country, every one of us. If you can't do it by yourself, 10 of you should get together and do it. But right now the problem is 10 of you cannot get together, 2 people can't get together. Plus change this, huh? If 10 of you students get together, you think you can't start something and run successfully? Can you or not? You can. But you 10 people can't get together, but you want to go into a company where there are 1,000,000 people working together. This is unrealistic. So, this is going to be super unpopular video, I know. A whole lot of people, I'm on camera, a whole lot of people are going to scream at me, oh, he's this, he's that, he doesn't know what's employment, oh, become a guru. Well, try, huh? Why don't you try? You can try that also, that is also useful.
Now, after this event, I will surely apply for being a mystic.
Oh, apply to be a mystic? That you don't have to apply, anyway, it happens. No, you didn't get the part. There is something called as mystic and a mistake.
Seeing in front of you, there might be certain mistakes, but I am totally into mistakes. What is there?
Probably not mischief. Okay, moving on. Sadhguru, like you said, that we need to club together and find newer ways to employ people, and basically it highlights on us being ambitious. So, I am a very ambitious woman, I think, and I have whole lot of bucket
You have
lists.
only 32 teeth to attend to. That's not very ambitious.
No, but that's not it. Do you think that I am a dentist and that is it? No, there's more to life, and that you have professed in one of your videos. So I want to ask that, yes, I am very ambitious. I have a whole lot of bucket list of things that I want to do and I want to achieve.
Bucket list is something that you do after you're 70, huh? Before you kick the
It's
bucket.
long. I can't wait till I get 70. Anyways, but so there.
No, bucket list, you know how this came? Bucket list means dying is considered kicking the bucket. So bucket list you make just before, a few years before you die. Some things that you have not fulfilled. For a young woman, no bucket list, okay?
A list full of dreams,
Okay.
I would call it. But for each dream, for girls in this country, there is a price to pay. There is a certain way in which society wants us. There are unsaid rules, obviously, like you behave in a manner and or you keep your heads down or don't speak much, all of that. So
Don't speak much is a good idea. It's not a bad advice for anybody.
Now you are in Shivanagri.
This was a serious question. Okay, so to follow my dreams, sometimes I need to break some rules, but I don't want to do it at cost of being dishonor or disrespect to my parents or my loved ones. I want to know, how do I be an obedient daughter, but at the same time an independent woman who lives her life on her own rules?
Okay. See, we want to do something that we want to do, and we want to do it with everybody's approval, and then we don't want to pay any price for it. Life doesn't work like that. When we do something that we really want to do, there is a price attached to it, because the nature of life is like that. If you do a certain thing, there is a price to pay, there is tax for that. What is the level of tax depends on how revolutionary is your idea. So, this is very unrealistic that people are always thinking, I want to do this, that, but my father. Well, you must be glad that he brought you into this world. Beyond that, don't complain, huh? What is your father doing? He's doing what he knows best. Hello? Yes or no? What he knows best, he is doing. If you want to know, if you believe that you know something better than him, first thing is you must be able to convince him. But he is not able to grasp it, he will not be convinced. Then how badly you want to do what you want to do, you must see whether it's worth going beyond these lines. If you decide it is so, that anyway you want to do it, no matter what is the price, you do it, but there will be a price. Now you want to say, I will do what I want, but there should be no price. There is no such life anywhere, not here, not anywhere.
Sadhguru, what opportunity it is that we have a yogi among us in the city of the Adiyogi. I relate my question to this, that we all know for sure that we'll be benefited that you are here. But do we have some special benefit of being in the city of Lord Shiva? I mean, I do not experience it. Are we being benefited directly or indirectly?
I will need a few minutes for this, okay? As all of you already know probably, the word Kashi means a tower of light. When we use the word light, we use the word light for many things in human life simply because of the nature of our visual apparatus. You have a sense of hearing, sense of smell, sense of taste, sense of touch, and you have sense of sight. Among all these five things, in the human being, the sense of sight is the most powerful one. How much life you drink through your nostrils, through your taste, through your touch and through your ears, and how much life you drink through your eyes is very, very disproportionate. Suppose you take a dog or any other carnivorous animal, he runs his life through smell, you know. He finds his food that way, he finds it mate that way, that's how he finds his way wherever he wants to go. For him, sense of smell is dominant. But for a human being, sense of sight is so dominant that our sense of sight functions best when there is light. So whenever we see something, we say, it's light. When we see something new, we say a new light has come. No new light has come, we're just seeing better. Because we're seeing better, we refer to that as light. So in that context, this is a tower of light. This means they built a machine. I'm calling this a machine because you're in the university. Essentially, it's called a yantra. The word yantra today also in English translates as a machine. Why do we build a machine? See, because we are able to walk, we came up with a bicycle. When we got tired of walking, we came up with a bicycle. Why? Because we are able to locomote, but now we want our locomotion to be far more effective. So we came up with a bicycle, then we powered it, it became a motorcycle, then it became an airplane, then it became many things. But suppose you were made like a tree, rooted to one place, would you have thought up a bicycle? Would you? No. Now that we can speak, we have a microphone, we have a telephone, we have all kinds of phones. Now that we can see, we have a periscope, microscope, telescope, all kinds of scopes. Every machine that we have created is only an extension of the existing faculties that we already have. We have not come up with any machine which does something totally different from what we are able to do. It only extends our ability, because we cannot create a machine which does something different because we don't know what the different is. We have no way of exploring something beyond our existing faculties, isn't it? We can only extend our faculties, we cannot create a new faculty as such. So, we built various kinds of yantras. As we built bicycles, motorcycles, microphones, microscopes and various things, we built other kinds of machines which were essentially energy machines. Because we understood where there is a physical machine, there'll be friction, there will be a lifespan, there will be maintenance and various other aspects. So we built machines which are pure energy machines, giving it a form by giving a physical foundation to it. Small machines, big machines, all kinds of things were built for specific purposes. This is what you call as a deity in this country. In this country, I want you to listen to me carefully, not react to this simply. We are a godless culture. We don't have the God anywhere. All the people whom you worship are people who walked this geography at some time, isn't it so? We worship them, not because they dropped from the sky, not because they flew in the air, not because they walked upon the water, no. We worship them because they exhibited an extraordinary sense of freedom. No matter what life did to them, they remained free from that. You look at their lives and see, their lives are not free from strife, their lives are much more strife than your life, isn't it? Far more strife, far more dramatic strife, wars and tragedies and all kinds. In all this, they remained unmoved, balanced, not becoming a reactive force, but continuing to be involved with life. They did not withdraw, nor did they become angry. They stayed there and did what they had to do, whatever they could do. Many times, most of their activities ended up in failure, but the man is a victory because what happened around him never determined who he is. This is why in this culture we held freedom, liberation or mukti as the highest goal. God is not the goal, mukti is the goal, moksha is the goal, isn't it? If you listen to the conversations of your mothers or maybe grandmothers, daily conversation never happened, not spiritual conversation. Daily conversation never happened without uttering words like karma, prarabdha, mukti, moksha. This was like everyday conversation, especially in this city. People came here just for that, not looking for God, looking for freedom, isn't it? So, they built this phenomenal machine, but the vagaries of time, invasions, ignorance, various things destroyed this machine or damaged this machine at various levels, but still it's a fantastic machine. It's not in its full flow, but still it is great and fantastic machine. And will anybody benefit from that in being in its umbrella? Of course they will, but we must understand this. Even if the full moon has come up, if your eyes are closed, maybe your blood will surge up a bit, but you will miss the beauty and the whole thing about it. The same goes to everything, because whatever we are not conscious of, in some way will not exist for us, isn't it? Whatever we are not conscious of will not exist for us, even if it's there in a very big presence. So, are you benefiting from it? Definitely on one level. But are you taking full benefit of it? I don't think so. When I look at the people, the way they're moving around, they will see pilgrims coming like this with tears in their eyes, but these people are going like this about their little danda that they're doing. So, you may not benefit fully from it unless you're conscious, because subtler aspects of life especially will not come to you unless you consciously become receptive. So this is very important. Unfortunately, people have started referring to Kashi as the Makkah of the Hindus and all this stuff. This is not a Makkah, you're not going there to seek God's grace or something else. You are coming here because this place represents mukti or liberation or freedom.
The next question that we had is, which was very common thing that the students have asked is, I am a suffer in silence kind of a person, because I believe that if I show my vulnerable side to the society, they might use it against me. So I carry a shield and go out to the world. So I want to ask if it is okay to show our emotions, that does make us weak, or we can carry a shield and maybe suffer in ourselves for some time.
No, you're asking this question as if suffering is very natural to you. Suffering is not natural to you, I want you to understand. See, there is something called as pain and there is something called as suffering. If I put a pin into your body, there is pain. But whether you suffer that or not is your choice. Many times, many things that hurt you, you don't suffer. Have you seen this? Let's say you want to climb up the mountain or you want to swim across Ganga. Every muscle in the body may pain, but the moment you reach that side with this painful body, you are so joyful. Yes or no? So pain is not necessarily suffering. Pain need not translate into suffering. Pain is the natural process in the body, it's very good for you. Yes? Because if there was no pain in the body, most people would not know how to even preserve their physical bodies. See, wherever there is no pain, what all they've done to it? If there was no pain in your nose, in the name of fashion, you would have cut it in so many ways. If there was no pain at all in your body, you would walk on the street with your intestines in your hands. Yes, maybe on the stomach bag you could put Gucci and go. Don't tell me you won't do these things. If there's no pain at all, wouldn't you have pulled it out? Come on. You would have done all kinds, it's only the pain which is keeping you. You're walking on the street, if a bicycle comes, you step back. Do you believe it's because of humility? Consequence of pain, isn't it? If there was no pain, even if a truck came, you would go like this. Lot of people are going like that in spite of the pain. The consequence of pain is the only thing which has allowed you to preserve your own body, isn't it? So I'm saying unfortunately, most human beings are in that state. If there was no pain, they would have cut themselves into pieces. So pain is good for you because it's keeping you in one piece, otherwise you would carry your head in your hand and walk around. Yes, you've seen such imagery. So suffering is something that you do mentally. This is your choice. Either you can suffer or you need not suffer, or you can enjoy the same thing. Many people are enjoying many painful things, isn't it? So, you're talking about like all the time you're suffering, should I show it or not show it? Whether you show it or you don't show it is visible. If you're suffering, is it not visible on your face? You may pretend, but everybody knows. Everybody except those who did not bother to look at your face. All those people know that you're in suffering, isn't it so? They may just keep quiet because they don't want to intrude into your private suffering. And suffering is always a private hell, it's never public, please see, because it happens within you. So, why are we making ourselves into such a mess? Simply because we do not know or please. If I hear music, I will Most people, after 30, 40, 50, 60 years of living here, still have not figured out how to handle their thought and emotion. How unfortunate. When are they going to learn? After 1,000 years? People are pretending as if they have a 10,000-year lifespan. At 50, if you don't know how to handle your thought and emotion, when are you going to learn, I'm asking? This is simply because they gave you a super sophisticated machine. Do you agree with me? This is the most sophisticated machine on the planet? Have you read the user's manual? No. That's all the problem is, not suffering.
Sadhguru, last year in this month only, in the month of September, there was a very big movement, a student movement, particularly the girls came out demanding for some of their rights. And nowadays, in last few years, we have seen a number of movements happening in different universities, different colleges. My question is that, do you think these movements, which are led by students particularly, are based on ideologies, or are they just the reaction of something?
Well, see, every human being would like some sense of justice and balance in the situations in which they exist. Whether it's home or university or street, you want some sense of equity in what's happening. Even within the home, there is injustice. Many times we fight, isn't it? Hello? So the same thing in the university, the same thing on the street, same everywhere. But what we need to understand is, let's take family as a structure, there is a structure, something is being managed. Your parents are not experts in all kinds of justice systems and ideologies and everything. They're just doing what they know best. Yes? Out of their love and concern, they're doing what they know best. Is it always perfect? No, parents are never perfect, isn't it? Hello? They're never perfect, they're doing their best, what they know best. Maybe you as a young person think what they're doing is no good, maybe, but they're doing their best. If they're not doing their best, we can remind them, you're not doing your best, then I will not do my best if this happens, something. Or a more creative way of doing things is, when they don't do their best, you really do your best so that they will feel, oh, what am I doing? Yes, these are different ways to correct a situation. But there are certain people who think, if a thorn gets into their foot, they believe you must cut off the leg. There are a lot of people like this. If a thorn got into your foot, what should you do? Carefully remove the thorn and walk on, isn't it? But right now there are many people, if thorn gets into the foot, they will claim, come on, let's amputate the leg, let's amputate the leg, campaign will start. Before we protest and deride somebody else, try to pull somebody else down, we must take little time and see, suppose if I am in that place, if all these people are saying 1,000 different things, how would I manage? You must see this. Right now, the people who are managing the situation, are there some superhuman beings, they know how to do everything? They don't know. They are trying to do their best. If they're not doing their best, we can key them up a little bit. We should remind them that they should do their best. But expecting a miraculous situation where 1,000 people in India, if there are 3 people, there are 5 opinions, all right? So we are such a country where for everything we have a question. Even if so-called divine entities come, we just barrage of questions we throw at them. Yes or no? When Shiva comes, we throw questions, Krishna comes, we throw questions, whoever comes, we throw thousands of questions, we are that kind of people. So naturally, there'll be many things, it's okay, we are that kind of people. But questioning something is one thing, always trying to dismantle the existing structure is another thing. If you dismantle the existing structure, are you capable of creating a better structure? This is something you must consider. Right now, the existing structure may be lousy. The existing structure may be utterly lousy. But the question is right now, are we competent? Do we have the resource? Do we have the time to create a better structure? This is something we must look at. The problem right now is, we are going about busy judging everybody. The kind of judgments that we ourselves will not pass. Can I tell you a joke? A lady went into the butcher's shop. You know all those chicken, they were all hanging there, dressed chicken. Somehow, for some reason, feathers are the dress of the chicken, we pull off all their feathers and then we say they're dressed. They were colorfully dressed, but we pulled off everything, then we say they're dressed. So these dressed chicken were hanging there, dead of course. The lady went there and lifted one wing, wrinkled her nose, lifted one leg, wrinkled her nose, like this she went from chicken to chicken, chicken to chicken. There were many other customers, they were all feeling uneasy because the way she's wrinkling her nose, maybe they're old, maybe it's getting rotten, they're all looking. The butcher saw that it's going to seriously affect his business this way. So he went and tapped her on the shoulder, she looked back. He asked, "Ma'am, would you pass a test like that?" This is all you have to check, would you pass a test like that?
So, Sadhguruji, when I started saying you are a cool dude, and I saw you, I'm following you from the last 3 to 4 years, and you have been doing Rally for Rivers, Youth and Truth also is the idea that you have invented.
Little, if you hold it little.
The Youth and Truth idea that you
Little volume for him, please.
Youth and Truth idea that you invented, and for Rally for Rivers also. Sometimes I think that you have a lot of responsibilities for this. And I've seen your video, in one video you are saying that you are working for 16 to 18 hours a day because you are made to work because you need to work for this country. Or in one of the video I saw it. A lot of responsibilities on you, sir.
Lot? No.
Lot of responsibilities.
All of it, huh?
All of it, that's a lot of responsibilities, sir. So, either you can just transfer to some of them to me also, but the thing is that…
when you apply, we will consider.
I will be applying by tomorrow, sir. So, the thing is that, what I feel that sometimes or the other, there are certain few people who are taking the responsibility. But many a times people are scared of the responsibilities, taking the responsibilities. You have taken the responsibilities for rivers, for others, for planting trees and other things.
For you also.
And for me also, you the truth. But, but there is certain times when the people are scared of responsibilities.
Yes.
Does it taste good like chicken? Or something else?
See, responsibility. Does everybody hear that word clearly? Yes. Responsibility means responsibility, your ability to respond. I'm asking you, would you like to retain your ability to respond to every dimension of life that you face? I'm asking you. Hello? Yes. Some of you are saying no, why? If you have no if you don't have the ability to respond, that is when you feel fearful, helpless. If you retain the ability to respond, whatever can be done, you will do. In your life, if you do not do what you cannot do, no problem. But if you do not do what you can do, you're a disaster. I'm not a disaster. Everything that I can do, I will do. Will everything happen? Maybe not. Let me tell you how big a failure I am, okay? Is that okay? When actually yesterday, 23rd of September, is 36 years since certain things happened within me and my life dramatically changed. I was going about my business, successful, making money, everything good, but suddenly this experience hit me in such a big way, everything changed. It was on that little hill called Chamundi in Mysore. It was on 23rd of September, 1982. So, on this day I happened to be in Kashi, thanks to all of you for having me. So when this happened, I'm just sitting there, doing nothing. Simply, every cell in my body is exploding with ecstasy. I thought, this is it. I've discovered something that if you don't do anything, you will be overflowing with ecstasy. There's really no problem. Then I made a plan. In 2.5 years' time, at that time the human population was 5.6 billion people. So I made a plan, in 2.5 years' time, I will make the entire population blissful because I know the technology. You don't have to do anything. Simply if you sit here not doing anything, everything will explode. See, 36 years, huh? I'm still talking to you, not yet gotten you, okay? Maybe we've touched over 500 million people, but that's not my idea of the world. There are 7.6 billion people. So I know I will die a terrible failure, but I will die blissfully, because everything that I can do, I have done.
Successful failure can be a good word for you.
No, blissful failure. So, now in your life, the choice is this, you can have one constipated desire, okay? My only ambition is, I want to build one little house for myself. That happened, and you're a success, but a stupid success, constipated success. My wish for all of you young people is, you must have that kind of a desire which cannot be fulfilled in this life. If you take 2 steps in that direction, if your desire for well-being includes everybody, if your desire is all-inclusive, most probably it will not happen before you die, isn't it? But you took a few steps in that direction, that's great. Instead of having a constipated desire and you had it fulfilled in next 5 years and you think you're on top of the world, what is the point of such a desire? So, I'm wishing you failure, I want you to understand. But a blissful failure. Because the only reason you suffer responsibility is you're always afraid whether it'll happen or not happen. Why are you afraid of that? Because your joy, your happiness, your peacefulness is dependent upon how the world responds to you, not how you are. First, let me ask you this fundamental question. You are referred to as a human being, yes? Human being. We did not call other creatures tiger being, ant being, elephant being, we did not call them that, yes? We call this one as human being. What it means is, this one knows how to be. They all exist in reaction to outside situations, but this one knows how to be. This is why we know how to respond, not react, how to respond. This is why this is a responsible creature. If you know how to be, would you keep yourself blissful or miserable? Blissful. If you're blissful, what is the consequence of your action? Would it really matter? You'll do your best. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Hello? Yes. But when you're shit scared of what will happen, you will reduce your desire and responsibility so small. Essentially because of fear, isn't it? But if you're really blissful by your own nature, you know how to be. You're a human being, you know how to be. If you know how to be, does it matter how far your actions go or do not go. Our actions will depend on the times in which we exist, isn't it? People are, like I was at the World Economic Forum and all these people usually coming and saying many things like this. One professor from the Harvard University comes up to me and says, "Oh, you're that amazing tree planter?" I say, "No, I'm not a tree planter." Then, "No, you planted millions of trees." "Yes, I planted, but I'm not a tree planter." Then he asked, "What do you do?" I said, "I make people flower." So why I planted trees is not because I am a tree planter, simply because, one day it happened. Two men were working, government employees. One man was digging on the roadside, behind him another man was coming and closing these pits and coming. Somebody else was passing by, they saw this ridiculous activity and they backed up and they came and, "Hey, what are you doing here? This guy is digging, this guy is closing. What is this?" They said, "No, I'm doing my job, he's doing his job." The in-between person was a tree planter, he is missing. Because that tree planter has been on a leave for a long time, I stepped in. I'm not a tree planter, nor am I a river saver, okay? Because that person is missing, I stepped in.
Sadhguru, as we grow up, we are often told, or it is fed in our minds in childhood that life is a race. You need to keep running and be perfect.
Oh.
You are a driver also, sir? F1 racer, sir.
Huh?
You are a driver also, sir, F1 racing car, you drive bikes, sir. That was the main advertisement that we put up in the ad.
Now, if life is a race, you must win it, isn't it? Winning it means what? You must get to the finish line today. Harishchandra Ghat. You can choose Manikarnika or Harishchandra Ghat, which one is your choice? Hello, if it's a race, you must cross the finish line ahead of everybody else, isn't it? So whoever this idiot who is telling you life is a race, ask them to cross the finish line.
The thing is, life is a race and it's a good point, but what we can say, we are taught like this only. So, I don't say that the people who taught me is an idiot, because that will… I am on camera. So… So, what I feel is that giving certain tips of responsibilities, I saw certain godmen also in this country. I'm saying literally godman, I'm not saying any particular person. But I see, sometimes I see that there are many people who are just thronging their ways, who are just giving the puja to the godman. The life creature is like a godman. So, once I feel that why those people are like doing a puja of him. But second times I thought how powerful and how intelligent that godman is. He's able to convince them that I am a god. He's able to convince those people that I'm a god. So that is also an intelligence. So is this a country where the people are so foolish that they are following just a person and not saying a word of foolish, but is there following a person and treating him like a god, or is that godman so intelligent that he's able to convince them?
Just now you said you're on the camera, you don't want to call people who says life is a race as idiots, but you're calling the whole tradition as foolish.
No, sir.
No, I will come, I will answer the question. See, this word God-man is a media-invented word. There is nobody anywhere I have seen who claimed I am a God-man. I have seen man and I have seen goddamn man. I have not seen a God-man anywhere. Have you seen a God-man anywhere? Hello, anybody? No. Somebody is sitting there, somebody else Right now, to Malviya ji, we garland him. Well, is he a god? No, he did something that we revere. He did something that we value. So we offer our respects to him by putting a mala. Oh, you put garland on him, so you made a deity of him. Yes, because the man did something in his life which we all benefit and value, so we bow down to him. So there is logic of various levels. Don't think there's only one logic. There is rudimentary logic, there is little high above, there is very fine logic also. Now, people who worship looking up, saying there is… our God is up there, and that looks okay to you, because first of all, this whole Uparwala business, first thing you… are you on a round planet? Huh? You sure? Okay. Planet is round and the thing is spinning all the time. If you look up, inevitably you're looking up in the wrong direction. You are not even on the North Pole, you are in Kashi. You are like this, looking up in the wrong direction all the time, all 360 degrees. So, do you know in this cosmos, which side is up? Is it marked somewhere, this side up? No. So you don't even know which side is up, but you know who is up. I think that's very stupid. So in this culture we taught you that. Today this modern science also, I want you to understand this. Whether you take an atom or a cosmos or the cosmos, over 99.999, whatever number of nines, is actually empty. Only little bit material in the atom. You know this? What is your subject, I'm sorry?
Law.
Oh. You could argue for all the wrong things.
That is what I was reading.
Anyway, this is science. That over 99%, 99.9 some 11 times or 14 times something, I don't know the exact number, that much of the atom is empty space. Only little bit is material, tiny, minuscule. In the minuscule, it's minuscule. The same is true with the cosmos, also has similar proportions. Over 99% is empty space. Only specks of stars and planets and galaxies, only small specks, rest is all empty space. But this empty space seems to have some intelligence of its own, that it keeps all this physical material going around in a certain way. Because how much ever we study, we see that the physical material itself doesn't carry the needed intelligence, something else is driving it, obviously. So the simplistic, childish way of coming to it is, there is one man sitting up there and managing everything. But when you look at the size of the cosmos, one man managing things is… just naturally goes. Women are today arguing, why can't it be a woman? Yes? I was speaking to a group of people in Nashville in United States. I was just telling them a joke. In the joke, I referred to God as He. Immediately lady stood up. Said, do you believe God is a man? Whoa, 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 I know what I gotten into. I said, see, I was only telling you a joke. It doesn't matter, you said him. Now in United States, there's a big argument, why can't God be a woman? They tried to settle it in the previous election. But you know the results. Then there are also arguments like this, see, you've heard of Idi Amin? Idi Amin, the Uganda man. Idi Amin declared, God is black. I agree with him. Because if a white man can have a white god, why can't a black man have a black god? So in the southern churches in United States, the big debate happening is God white or black. Actual debates happening. You know, in the previous election, they tried to settle that affair. Didn't work. But, you know, we in India know God is brown. Yeah. Because, you know, those people don't know. Because to those places, God sent only His messenger, son or somebody else and somebody else. Here, God Himself arrived 9 times. Now. Especially Indians who are living outside the country are super proud about this. God came to our country 9 times. So I keep reminding them, that is because God wouldn't trust anybody else with Indians. He knew His son, His messenger, nobody would be good for the Indians. So He came hands-on Himself. 9 times and He failed. See, 9 or 10 times you can debate, failure is not debatable, isn't it? It's visible. Hello? Failure is very visible, isn't it so? So, we can go on endlessly with these things, but your belief systems are culturally relevant, existentially not relevant. So you must understand, this is a godless culture. Here, we revered people who contributed to our life. Our parents, we bow down to them. If you Shiva comes also, this is what you do, is it? Isn't it so? If you see a tree also, this is what we do. If you see cow also, this is what we do. Even a snake. A cow gave us milk, so we bow down. A snake, because he didn't bite us today, we bow down. I'm saying, we are doing the same act what we do to God, to man, woman, child, animal, everybody, isn't it so? Then why are you calling a particular man God man, huh? We are bowing down to everybody, aren't we?
Sadhguru, nowadays youth are so active on social media and we have been using that platform for various purposes. We even use that for this Youth and Truth program, popularizing it here in Varanasi. We asked for several questions on the social media also, and we selected the famous one, the most famous one out of those questions. So I have one question. It is Pranav who asked, at home they teach us how to behave with girls, but when I go out with my friends, we see something different, which is totally different. When I go online, the things are crazy. How is a man supposed to behave with or treat a woman?
Well, a woman is not a separate species, first of all. This too much of man-woman thing is being done, unfortunately. It's a small biological difference to serve a certain purpose. We are all here today because of this difference, yes? Because we have a mother and a father, one happens to be a woman in that. Because of that, we are born and we are here. So, we don't have to treat women like separate species. There was a time, we must understand this, there was a time when the world was such that a woman couldn't really go out and do much because of the nature of the world around. Suppose, right now, you know, I don't know, maybe 2,000–3,000 people turned up from many parts of the world for yesterday's event in Kashi. I think in this more than 60% are women. Now, suppose this was 1,000 years ago, it would be 95% men, only 5% women maybe. Because to travel by walk or by on a horseback and to come to Kashi from 1,000 miles away would be a challenging thing for a woman, would not be very safe for a woman those days. But today, you must understand, it's not your liberal attitude which has brought women reasonably level, just technology. Technology has leveled the difference because your big muscle is no more useful. You need some brain. There was a time when man's muscle did everything on this planet. When man's muscle did everything on this planet, naturally man was dominant. This dominance also is misunderstood. He dominated in one arena which was filmed and reported. She dominated in a different arena which was private and not reported. But because we have taken to Western modes of living right now, very much, because of that, we have this controversy has been going on with me for last week, 10 days, because I said, if you make economics the only value of your life, money is the only prime value in your life, then world will become very male. Because there'll be no room for the feminine to find expression. There may be women, but they will surrender their feminine to be successful, unfortunately. This should not happen. Women should succeed as women, not as men. With full-blown feminine nature, they must be able to be successful in a society. They don't have to pretend to be a man to be successful. This has to go. If this has to go, the world has to move completely from brawn to brain. It's very important, this transition. Now, when you talk about economy or money power, it's brawn. It's a different kind of muscle. Money or muscle, we're talking about it in the same context. Money is another kind of muscle. So we are taking away the physical muscle and bringing in the money muscle. So once again you're creating a male-dominated society, masculine-dominated society, because now women have understood how to be successful by being masculine. No, this is not a good thing for the world. There must be a world where women can be 100% feminine and still be absolutely successful. If this has to happen, money should not be the ruling factor, it should be just currency. Money is just currency to facilitate things. But right now, money is the ruling factor, so masculine becomes the dominant force. We need to change this. Unless music, aesthetics, love, beauty and other things, everything becomes equal proportions, feminine will not flourish. And if feminine is wiped out of this planet, then all the men will sit and wonder, why are we living?
Sadhguru, in your AV you said it was difficult for you to plant trees in people's mind and then rest of the thing just happened. So I want to ask, how do we plant this seed in their mind that females need to flourish as females?
See, you don't have to plant it in their head, you have to plant it in your head.
But like I said in my first questions, yes, we can do it at our part, but then there are people, there is society, there are ways that people judge us.
See, don't think there's no judgment for a male. Don't think there's exploitation for a male. It is there. It is just that for a woman, unfortunately, any little exploitation takes on a sexual tone, all right? That is the ugly part of it. Otherwise, don't think men are not exploited. They're exploited in many different ways, ask him. No, that is why a lawyer is successful, because somebody is exploited, isn't it?
I want to say thank you, sir, for saying this.
The problem right now is, we are still in such a consciousness, anything that's weaker than us, we will exploit. Man, woman or child or animal. Yes or no? Anything that is weaker than us, because still we don't have brain in our head, we still have muscle in our head, okay? The muscle should transform into brain cells. Then we will see that for you to succeed, you don't have to really exploit anything, actually. In fact, if you get the love and cooperation of everybody, you will succeed even better. I will tell you an example. I am doing a program for one of the top international companies, one of the top companies. 25 of their top executives are there It's a 3-day event. I have 9 volunteers. I don't know if you noticed our volunteers here. Without one instruction, they just go about doing everything that needs to be done. If something is not done, I know it could not be done. There's no question of somebody did not do it, because we built such a force. So they watch these 9 people moving around, then they ask Sadhguru, where do you get such people? Because they're always looking for attrition, you know. Then I said, you don't get them, you got to make them. How do you make them? I said, you have to make them fall in love with you. Oh, how do you do that? I said, first you must fall in love with them. Then they say, wait, huh? Then they say, oh, they don't pay us for that. So, when money is the only ruling factor in your life, you're like a circus monkey. If you give a banana, you will jump, otherwise you'll simply sit, all right? So if you're not a circus monkey, then you will see exploiting is not a good thing. If everybody falls in love with you, how easy and wonderful it is to work. When people hate you, when they resent you, they will make your life miserable, believe me. They will make sure, won't you? When you're resentful about somebody and you have to work for them, won't you make sure their life is miserable? Yes, this is why people are thinking work is so stressful, because everybody hates them. If they create a really loving and inclusive atmosphere around them, where everybody senses there is no sense of exploitation, see, I don't exploit anybody, but I work them to death. But before that, I'm working myself, people are afraid I may kill myself, so they're also trying to catch up, there's no problem. If I sit like this and make you work, then you will come up with something else to make my life miserable. When you see you're only emulating me, then why will you feel exploited? I make them work 7 days of the week, 18 hours a day, non-stop, day or night. At 2 o'clock in the morning, I'll call them and saying, do this, do that, do that. Because so many things happening. You see, you're joining up, so I'm telling you.
I can link you, sir.
So, exploitation is a silly way of doing things in the world, unintelligent way of doing things in the world. Inclusiveness is the best way to do work in the world. If you think your work is important, if you think what you're doing is important, people come to me always, you know, we are a volunteer organization, over 4,600 whatever, full-time volunteers and over 9 million part-time volunteers. Every day somebody comes up to me and says, Sadhguru, I can't work with this person, she's terrible, he's like this, he's like that. I say, see, in this world, there are only these kind of people. Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, only these kind of people. If you think what you're doing is very significant, you have to work with these kind of people. But if you think you want to work with ideal people, you must go to heaven and today. Yes, if you think what you're doing is very significant, you will work with whatever you have. If you have donkeys, you'll work with them. Yes? But you have not realized the significance of what you're doing, now you're busy complaining about everything. This doesn't mean everything around me is perfect, but everybody is doing their best, that's all.
Sadhguru, when he talked about social media, in social media one thing is very much important and one thing is very much spreading, is like certain news are there and they are just forwarded to certain groups, and then certain other things have occurred. In one of the video, you also gave certain example for an explanation for mob lynching also. I won't go into that because you have already answered. But people think that these messages are like real ones and they just try to do what the message says. So one person, I think ladies, Madhusudanji has asked this, that is there a line of separation between the thinking and overthinking, or rather there is no line of separation, or it's just a mental thing?
See, I don't know if you've seen the byline for Youth and Truth, it's not here. No, not that. We're talking about exploring truth, not with the seriousness of a gospel, but with the playfulness of gossip. Gossip has been the most reliable system of seeking truth. Yes or no? If whatever the official thing comes out, you will ask around your friends and best neighbors, what happened, is this true, what happened, what happened? Everybody says 5 different things. Then you find your own filter for that and arrive at, okay, this is what should have happened. So social media is new. What it means is, gossip has gone global suddenly. Gossip was always there, locally. Was there or no? Yes. Ladies, tell me. Because more people confide in you, because man is walking like this, nobody wants to talk to him. A woman is paying attention and walking, so they will talk to her. Gossip has always been there in every society and it's a reliable thing. But now suddenly gossip has gone global because of technology. Now this globalization of gossip has caused a little bit of disruptions, and the scale of things that happen is little disproportionate to what we were used to earlier. Because by the time we tell 10 people, it would have died down. Today, one forward, boom, 250 people got it in the town. It could incite certain things. Well, it's been misused and it's been used, all right? Many people have used it well. Some people have misused it. This is true with any technology, anything, anything. Right now, we can use this vessel to store water, or I can take it and smash it on your head. So now, shall we ban all the copper vessels because somebody's skull got cracked? Shall we? No. So we have to bring culture the society. It's not going to happen overnight. Educate and evolve the society. If it's going out of control, maybe little enforcement. But just clamping down on anything and everything that causes little damage, this has happened. See, Mysore, Bangalore, for example, I'm from Mysore. Right from my very young age, even when first time I went to Bangalore on my father's scooter without him knowing, when I was just 13.5 years of age, I got enough money, I put gas and zoom, I went to Bangalore, made a circle there and came back all the way. It was a single track road going like this, like that, with potholes, everything. And many of the times I had to ride standing because of various things. One was height. So, now they made a 6-lane highway, all right? Later on, when we graduated into motorcycles, if we thought about it, we just boom, boom, we went. 1 hour, 35 minutes, 140 kilometers we did and came back. But now, they put a 6-lane highway. And in the villages, traffic started moving fast. There are lots of villages, they did not bypass the villages because of whatever, land acquisition and stuff, because they went on expanding the existing road. People get killed crossing the road, unfortunately. Lot of pedestrians get killed in India because they don't know where to cross and they can't judge the speed, or they're just so full of themselves, they come in the way and they expect somebody to stop, all kinds of things. So they went on putting road hump, road hump, road hump. In 142 kilometers of road, they put over 120 road humps. So you got a 6-lane highway, you cannot even get to third gear. Boom, boom, duk, 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 boom, 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 boom. What is the point of a highway? Huh? We could have a mud track. Why are you spending money on the highway? When you put in 140 kilometers, you put over 120 road humps. Now by High Court order, it's all being removed. But villages will put up their own thing. They will not learn how to cross the road. They will put up only road hump. So this culture must go. Some damage happens because of somebody's irresponsible action. Instead of fixing that irresponsibility, we want to destroy the possibility. How many good things have been done on social media? Yes? Many wonderful things have been done. But now somebody gets killed because of somebody's mischief. So we want to ban that. This is not the way to do things. This is not the way to take the nation forward. It doesn't matter, some people pay the price, unfortunately it is true. But we must bring more responsible usage of that rather than simply banning this, banning that.
One more question that came over the social media was, you told Ranveer that ambition is limited. It is a thought and not worth investing our life in it. Without goals or commitment or destination, how will I even take my next step? And you also had the goal of Dhyanalinga. I'm really confused.
One part of that we've already answered about. See, what you call as ambition is essentially a thought that you generated, isn't it? How did you generate this thought? Maybe people around you influence, or above all, essentially your ambition or your thought is only coming from the limited data that you already possess. Yes or no? Do you believe, many of you are in 20s or early 20s, do you believe everything that you need to know about the world, all the possibilities that life may hold, you already have collected data about it? No. With what little you know, if you fix your life's goal, I think that'll be a poor life. Right now, you are in college, you can fix a goal. Within the stipulated period, I want to get out of the college. Not too early because they threw me out, not too late because I didn't get out. Yes? Within the stipulated period, I want to get out. How I want to get out, whether I want to get out first class or first this, that, how much I should know, that is a goal you can set. Because already it's a structured time, isn't it? Already it's a structured time. In this structured time, you set a goal. But you don't set a goal for your life, ruling out all the possibilities that may open up. So if you decide right now, this is what I'm going to become, I was talking about that in terms of, this is a problem in our families, in Indian families. A 3-year-old child, they will ask, what do you want to become? That tiny little girl says, I want to become doctor. Oh, they're so happy. This is rubbish. Why a 3-year-old girl is being made to decide what she should become? We don't know what's her genius, yes? What talent she has, what genius she has, you don't know. But instead of seeing how to unfold that, you're fixing that so early on and ending up with a very constipated life. So the important thing is, human beings have immense potential. If this has to unfold, one important thing is, you create a situation of balance and pleasantness within you. That means you're peaceful, joyful and balanced. If you're like this, every human being has a certain genius and this will start unfolding. When it unfolds, it will surprise everybody. Right now, the problem is this in the world. Not even 1% of human genius actually blossoms. Rest get trapped in these kind of systems and systems and systems all over the place. Somebody gets trapped into earning a living, somebody gets trapped because they fell in love too early, you know. Something or the other, they get committed to something. So ambition means you got committed to a single idea which came from very limited data in your life, isn't it? Don't get committed to a limited idea. Limited ideas are okay short term. Right now, I'm here for 5 years in this university, this is what I want to do in this 5 years, this is okay. But life must unfold, you must give it an opportunity to unfold. Only reason why you're committing yourself like this is, you're afraid of uncertainty. You think certainty has come because you pegged it there. I'm going to be a doctor at the age of 3. And you feel there is a certainty. This certainty is death-like certainty because it takes away all possibilities. It's important for a human being, life should be explored. many possibilities. Only then human genius will unfold and we have multifaceted human beings in the country. Otherwise, this has been our problem because we are concerned about earning a living. There was a time where everybody was a doctor in this country, now everybody is a software engineer in this country. This is not the way to go. If it's needed, we'll do that, that's not the point. But the important thing is, human genius must unfold. If you destroy that because you fixed a peg in your life, it's very unfortunate.
Like you said, we should set specific goals for short time. If we are setting a goal, we'll definitely work for it very hard. But in due course, we might also we see people amongst us or we ourselves, we might resort to some unhealthy practices. Just because this is set in our mind that, okay, this is my goal, I want to achieve it. We might set into unhealthy practices. It happens amongst us or maybe at our workplace also.
What is an unhealthy practice?
Like foul competitive streak in amongst our fellow mates or foul competitive practices. It could be like pulling someone else down just to go ahead of.
No. If you pulled somebody else down, you did not go ahead, both of you went back. That's all that happened. But right now, this continues. This is what I said, if something has to unfold within you, outside should not decide everything. A few things outside will decide. Rest should come from within. That's what a human being means. For other creatures, everything is decided by reaction with the outside. For a human being, there is enough intelligence that a whole lot of things have to come from within, not from outside reactions. So if you keep looking at somebody, how somebody else is doing, now obviously you will take a misstep. They were asking me, somebody, Sadhguru, how to beat the Pakistani team? I said, don't beat the Pakistani team, just hit the damn ball, huh? You don't try to go and beat Pakistan with a cricket bat. With the cricket bat, you just hit the damn ball. There's no Pakistan in the ball. You just have to hit the ball so that Pakistanis will not find the ball. Like that you must hit it. But if you're looking at Pakistani and wanting to beat him, the ball will smash your face maybe. So, we need to understand whether it's a game or education or work or whatever else we are doing, the important thing is the process that we are doing. If you're not devoted to the process, result will not happen. It's like this, suppose you want mangoes in your garden. If you sit there and every day do mango meditation, you do mango meditation, mangoes will not come. If you just look at the soil, manure, water, sunlight, take care of these things well, absolutely involved in the process, even if you never thought about a mango, one day mango will land on your head anyway, inevitably. If you do the process right, consequence will happen. Right now you get committed to the consequence. This means in yoga there is a saying, if you have one eye on the goal, you have only one eye to find your way, it's very inefficient. Both eyes, everything you got into what you're doing right now, result will come. Why will it not come? Why are you bothered how somebody else is doing? Are you doing your best or not? That's all the question is, isn't it, with life? Even if you want to become a mystic, don't worry about me. This happened, shall I tell you?
Why, sir, I don't be worried, you are the competitor, if I want to become the mystic.
No, I'm not in competition with you but I must tell you, because there is an aspiration, it's nice. It once happened, Shankaran Pillai went to the bar. Once a couple of drops inside, then everybody starts… that stories get taller and taller, Everybody was saying their own things, big things, about their families and about stuff. So Shankaran Pillai waited and then they nudged him, hey, what? You got nothing to say? No good. So, no, my uncle was a great mystic. He knew the exact time, date and mode of death in his life. Oh, really? He knew the time, date and how he will die well ahead of time. Said, yes, my uncle, great mystic. Really, how did he come to know? The judge told him. So there is a possibility, huh?
You have drifted the whole thing in laws. That's a nice thing. So, Sadhguruji, I would also like to open certain questions from the audience.
Please.
Since we have time constraints, so we will be only getting up for only 2 questions. So I think whosoever has to ask the question. Kanyaji.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. I'm Ayushi Dikshit, a third-year political science student. Sadhguru, my question is that today, on one hand, we see all these scientific, psychological methods, whereas on the other side, we have spirituality and mysticism. So, how can we collaborate both the aspects, both the factors, and have a better governance and a better society, maybe?
You think governance needs psychological treatment?
Yes, there are concepts in political science that, work psychologically also.
See, this is a culture where always the spiritual leaders always largely worked with the kings of the time. Not because they wanted to bum around in the palaces and get some benefits, simply because they saw, unless you benefit the man, unless you benefit the man who has the power to make difference to millions of people, people will not really benefit. If you get to a position of responsibility or power, that every word you utter, every thought, every emotion and every action that you perform has influence over millions of people, the first and foremost thing you need to do is to fix yourself so that how you think, how you feel, how you speak and how you act is calibrated for the well-being of the people. So, this is why whether you take Krishna, Krishna's whole life was just about marrying political system and the spiritual process. You take Gautam Buddha, all his life he is working with kings because you can work from bottom up. That is one way, but that's a long way. Today it is possible because we have communication. I want you to imagine, when a Gautama walks from village to village, if he speaks, even 10 people will not hear. Village to village, village to village. 40 years of his enlightened life, he walked and walked and walked. But impact is not good, he knows that. So he goes to the kings and try to impact them, because once they're impacted, they will change things in the nation. Because monarchy is a kind of autocratic rule. If he gets it, he will make sure something happens. In a democratic process, it is not so impactful, but it is still impactful. Here people are the leaders, but fortunately today, we have ability to communicate like never before. We can sit here and talk to the whole world if you want. This was never possible. Many great beings have come, but unfortunately when they spoke, hardly 50 people could hear. And even if they heard, somebody wrote down all wrong. And after 1,000 years, another 100 people modified it in so many different ways. By the time it comes to you after 1,000, 2,000 years, you don't know what the hell is coming to you. But today, see, these cameras are recording. If you say something different than what I said, they will play the video. I'm saying this was never possible before. So now we can work up, from grassroots to up. But at that time, the only way to work was top-down, because down is not possible to reach, only top is possible to reach. So today we can work both ways, but ground up is more effective today, that is why we're working with the people. So between psychology and spirituality, what is the difference? See, with psychology, you're trying to analyze the mechanics of thought process in a certain way. essentially thought and emotion. But in the yogic culture, in the spiritual cultures of India, we don't give any significance to your thought. You can think what you want. We know it's just the surface of who you are. Because thought is coming only from the data that you have gathered, isn't it so? Hello? Only from the limited data that you have gathered, thought is coming. But your behavioral patterns are coming from dimensions much deeper than thought. A whole lot of people who, if you have ever been psychologically little disturbed, suddenly you see something else beyond what you have known, what your regular thought pattern and emotional patterns are. Something beyond that is influencing you and pushing you and pulling you in ways that you can't help yourself. Yes or no? You've seen such people if it's not happened to you. So, we don't pay any attention to your present level of thought and emotion because thought patterns and emotional patterns we just see is an acquired pattern which has happened because of the data that you have. But other dimensions of influence within you are there, we wish to bring balance to that dimension. But for this, you need willingness and you have to work with people. But with psychology also, you have to endlessly talk. Most people cannot be talked out of anything, they will talk you out of it, okay? Yes. So, when talking doesn't work, when counseling doesn't work, you have chemical bombing. You put chemicals into the system in the form of pills or whatever, which could balance, because after all, human experience is all rooted in chemistry. Every human experience has a chemical basis to it. What you call as peace, joy, blissfulness, agony, ecstasy, stress, anxiety, everything has a chemical basis to it. So now we are looking at how to create a chemistry of blissfulness. This is the greatest chemical factory on the planet, do you agree with me? The most sophisticated and complex chemical factory on the planet. The question is only, are you a great manager or a lousy manager? That's all it is. So, we are looking at how to manage one's chemistry without taking external inputs. The modern psychiatry is looking at how to manage human chemistry by putting outside ingredients. Well, when things have gone to the extreme, that's the way to do it. If things are reasonably in control, we have systems through which one can work themselves out of it.
So, Anandji, question? Last question, one last question. Okay, sir, ask. Please give the mic,
Very good afternoon, sir. My name is Sushant Kumar Kushwaha. I'm a research scholar from BHU and very much fortunate to have a time to clear my doubt from you, sir. Sir, 7 years back when I got admission in BHU in diploma course, it was a very small course, just a part-time.
What course?
Diploma in tourism management.
Okay.
I was very much happy to get enrolled in that course. I went to my house, to my father, and shouting like anything that I got admission in BHU as like I have cracked IIM Ahmedabad. So my father was okay, fine. And now, after 7 years, I have cracked NET and got admission PhD, but I'm not happy with what I am doing, sir, because I don't know. I have lost my spark. At that time, sir, in diploma, I was so much concerned about my study and being a part of BHU, the reputed university, said I was much more confident enough.
Please brief the question. What is the question?
My question is, I have lost my spark, okay, and I am not a very much consistently motivated person. Okay. I have lost my motivation. How to regain that? To live my life and lead in a joyful way, so to regain your inner peace. Thank you, sir.
See, the nature of life is such… Please sit down, it's okay. If you go outside in the garden and try to catch an ant, the BHU ant, who is born here, who's grown up here and probably he'll die here, that BHU ant, if you try to catch him, he'll say, okay, to hell with my life, okay, crush me if you want. Is it so? He'll do everything to protect himself. He values his life, isn't it? Very much or no? Tiny little creature that we may not even notice, we may step on him without even seeing him, unfortunately. But he values his life immensely. Does he or no? He's got spark. But you, a human being, at least on this planet, you're the peak of evolution, physiologically at least. Yes? If other behavioral aspects, if we may have questions but physiologically at least, the most evolved creature on the planet. What the most evolved creature on the planet means is, it has the most complex neurological system and it has the highest level of cerebral capability. That means you can think, you can remember, you have memory. You have a very vivid sense of memory and a fantastic sense of imagination. An ant doesn't have such a vivid sense of memory, nor does he have any great imagination. He has some. But he has a presence of mind about the life that he is living. Because the education systems that you're going through right from kindergarten level is such that it is about everything except you. It's about everything else. Somebody is PhD in tourism, somebody is PhD in biotechnology, somebody is PhD in something. Nothing about this. How does this function? There is no attention at all. A human being functions. You know, you have a Kala Bhairava temple here. What this means is, a human being exists in 3 times. He lives because of the richness of his memory. How rich is your memory determines what you will do and what you will not do right now, isn't it so? So memory is important, the present experience is important, and how vivid is your imagination for tomorrow is very important. Right now the problem is, these things have all gotten mixed up because discipline of faculty has simply not come. Nothing has been taught to our children that there needs to be… Discipline means people think English kind of discipline, walking like this like idiots. Discipline of faculty is not there. Because of this, your own mind turns against you. What happened 10 years ago, you still suffer? Hello? What may happen day after tomorrow, you already suffer? Because there's no discipline of faculty. You don't know how to use your memory, you don't know how to use your imagination. Your memory makes you suffer, your imagination makes you suffer, and you think you're suffering your life. You are not suffering your life, you are only suffering the 2 greatest faculties of being human, vivid sense of memory and a fantastic sense of imagination, isn't it so? If you suffer the greatest faculties that you have, what can we do with you? If you suffer an ailment, understandable. If you suffer a disability, understandable. If you suffer your ability, hopeless case. Yes or no? You're suffering your capabilities. If you're suffering your disability, it's all right. You're suffering your capabilities. I must tell you this, about 4–5 months ago, I think, you might have seen it on the news, a young lady, 34-year-old lady, who was a television anchor in Hyderabad, jumped off the 5th floor window, killed herself, left a note, "Nobody is responsible for my death, my brain is my enemy." How many million years it took to get this brain to this size, and now it becomes your enemy? She articulated this, but this is true with almost 90% of the human beings. They are suffering their own intelligence, isn't it? If you take away half their brain, they will be peaceful. Yes. And that is why a whole bunch of idiots are going about saying that the ultimate goal of life is peace of mind. Such people will only rest in peace. Now you, young man, they kept you here for too long, 7 years, they should have thrown you out in 4 years, then you would have done something. University life, if somebody is not keying you up all the time, it could become too easy, you know. Even I remember, when I went to the university, most of the time we were in the canteen or in the garden. The easiest part of my life was university. I think… I know nobody's going to like it but I think this university time must be shortened unless somebody is producing something brilliant. They must be chucked out within 3 to 4 years' time, everybody. If they're doing something very focused and very intense, they must stay. Otherwise, see, this is all I'm telling all of you young people. Do whatever the hell you want in your life, but you must be intensely focused on something. If you're not investing in anything, your life, it will just go waste. Because as I told you in the very beginning, one basic ingredient of your life is time, and this is just going away. Already you're 2 hours closer to your grave since I came here. Yes or no? 2 hours closer to Manikarnika. Yes or no? Yes, you are not immortal. It's just a limited amount of time. Are you a precious life, I'm asking you? Is your life precious to you? Yes. Then you must decide where you want to invest this life. If this is precious, if this is worthless, throw it somewhere. If this is precious, invest in something worthwhile, isn't it? So if you invest this in something worthwhile, not spark, you will be a flame all the time.
That's why my first question was being a mistake, right?
Huh?
I'm investing it in a good one, being a mistake.
Because you're a lawyer, judge may tell you.
No, the thing is that which judge, Supreme Court or High Court? Okay, we can have a concluding remarks.
Okay. As you said, that time is limited, so we are approaching towards the end of this wonderful gossip. I would like to thank you for spending your time, because if time is money, then you have spent millions on us today.
Hey, no, let me correct you. Time is not money, time is life. What is it? See, she's already a practicing dentist. Money, 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 money.
Sadhguru, if I would say thank you, I know I'll reach out of words. I'll not have some words to express my gratitude. The only thing is, if somebody would ask me what have you got in Kashi, now I can answer that once I had Sadhguru there. Thank you very much.
Hey, the end is the judge, not the lawyer.
The thing is, Sadhguru, I think one phone rings, and when you said that when you hear the song, you dance. And I saw a video of Ranveer Singh, sir. So can we have that? Because that is a Shiv Nagari, and we just throng it every time. Sir, please, if we can, that your favorite one.
I would… music will come, we'll wait. I want to see the young people dance and then we will see. All right? Anyway I want all of you to understand and appreciate this, that see, we are living in a country where still millions of people, nearly 500 million people probably, don't even get to eat properly, all right? In such a country, when all of us have the privilege that at least we don't have to search for our food, it's there. And not just that, you're in a premier institution like BHU, thanks to Malviya ji that he created this. You are part of his vision to educate this India, where When the British left, we were over 90% illiterate. So, at that time, somebody had the vision to create this and you are part of this great institution. I want you to always appreciate the privilege that you are here, which so many others have not found in this country. Please make use of this time at the university to build yourself. Don't worry about the nation, about the society, about this, that. Build yourself into such a grand human being. Because if there are no great human beings, there'll be no great society. There's no great society, there's no great nation. There are no great nations, there's no great world. So you can't build a great world or a great nation. You can only make yourself into a great human being and around you wonderful things will happen. It's my wish and my blessing, the best should happen to you. Thank you very much.